Welcome, everyone. We're off to a fun start. So we were just chatting before we started the podcast, and Tracy started to tell us a great story about something that she's building. So we were like, hey, let's just turn it on and go live. So
Yeah.
welcome. Hand it off to Tracy to share what she's got going on with her app.
Amazing. All right. Thanks, guys. Okay. Like I've always said, I'm kind of the dumb one in the room just about AI and all this stuff, but I'm using it and I'm using it for like, how can it make my life easier? For those who didn't know, like I'm creating a circuit of stores, candy stores in Charlotte with like a warehouse as the linchpin, basically. The warehouse will control all the things. It'll control all the inventory. It'll control profitability. Like everything comes from the warehouse, and the app that I'm going to build for inventory is that. Now, when I first started this, like 5 months, I used chat, and I was on a 45-minute drive to one of my locations, and I was just talking. Okay, I wanted to do this, I want to do that. And, chat's going back and forth with me. I love that you can talk and not have to type, not kill anybody while I'm driving. So anyway, built out this whole prompt of like this, and it asked me really a lot of insightful questions. So like I could probably go find some type of inventory app, but then I would definitely have to doctor it, because the way my candy store works is, let's say we have 300 bulk candy jars. All of those items come in different size bags from different vendors, different products, different costs, but then I take all of those items and I make them one SKU. So I'm selling all of those. So it's easy to track what comes in, but how do you adjust for going out? Because we're selling it as one item, right? And so Swedish Fish comes in by itself as a 5-pound bag, and we can up and it at a certain price, but I'm selling it as a collective or a bundle of all of those things. And so I've always, figured out ways to jerry-rig a system to do that. And so what I wanted was some type of app that was going to help me track it. And so basically we're just taking what I was doing on paper or in person and making an app that's going to do that. So the warehouse will receive and adjust, but then each location, which will have 10, will, as they get so the inventory comes into the warehouse then will say, okay, we're going to send to McAdenville this 150 pounds of this, and this. So it sends it. When they get there, they receive it, then they fill and such. And when they fill and they throw away the bag, then they go back to the app or the tablet that's in their store and adjust it. And that tells the warehouse, hey, we need more. So I'm building all of this. So 6 months ago, it was really complicated to build. But now, I had originally done it with Manus, and I originally did it with one other one.
GenSpark.
Yes, I did a little bit on GenSpark, and then I kind of would jump. It would kind of stall. But now in Replit, you just tell it. I don't even have to have an amazing prompt, of which I do, right, with all the parameters. But yeah, it's just building. And then it kind of stalls a little bit. And then when it has an error, then I can tell it. And you just need the time to dedicate to allow it the time to process and to self-correct. What a difference just in, 4 or 5 months from when I started it and then kind of shelved it because I wasn't ready, to now just to be able to tell it what you want. I probably confuse it with the big ginormous prompt, not giving it some freedom, right? But I wanted some specifics about how, like, everything is tracked by pound versus piece. Things with SKUs have piece, but that's easier to track. So there's just a little things, but the bigger picture of that is, number one, increases profitability. Like right now, I wouldn't know if somebody left with, a case of Swedish Fish. I wouldn't even know. I'd be like, what the heck's a Swedish Fish, right? It's all because it's just, there's not a way to track it. So yeah, so that's what I'm building. And it's kind of like amazing just to see the difference from, 4 or 5 months ago. So that was kind of cool. Not quite finished because I never sit still long enough to finish, but I don't know. But the exciting thing is this is something that every candy store could use. So if I build it and it's working, even if they only have one store, mom and pop could utilize it, and it could be a software. So now all of a sudden I potentially have a SaaS that I could sell.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we've all experienced like, was it worth going through learning it, which now we know is like the hard way, and we had all this brain damage and all this like the stress and drama, and you're like wanting to punch your computer and this roller coaster of emotions. And so it's some people who, and my point in saying this is people who were feeling left behind that haven't started to use AI. It's almost like that was the move. That was the move because right now it's like a lot easier
Mhm.
to get started and actually get things out and accomplished and built and published. And then all of us that are like, oh man, we built it when you had to like literally hook like node by node or work with the code or do whatever. Like I'm kind of jealous of the person who's just getting
Yeah.
started now.
They'll think it's easy. It's like the people who, okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
tell my age, like DOS prompts, like copy star dot star, a semicolon, like whatever. I know you understand what I'm saying. I'm calling you out, Jamie. But like when Windows was new, I found it so hard. I didn't know what to click. I was scared I was going to push the wrong thing. But like now, like my 3-year-old granddaughter can call me because she's not scared about pushing anything.
Yeah.
Oh, it changes. Like,
yeah. And the person now, they have like the fresh mind. I feel like some of us have just been like
You have to
banging our
unlearn
head
things
against.
and learn new things. That's the hardest part.
Exactly.
well,
Exactly.
right. And it's hard to unlearn what you know, right? Like,
Mhm.
I mean, it'd probably be really hard for you, April, to like put in an unstructured, just like off the cuff prompt, as opposed to like one that's really thought out with all of the pieces that you think that are important or that we've learned that are important versus me, the dummy, like, I just want an inventory app that will track my candy store. Okay. And then it goes, anyway.
Yeah. Well, you're
Helps me be
definitely
the
not a
dumb one.
dummy.
Exactly. At the very least for me, it will be worth it for me to know from my frame for all kinds of reasons, but it's also will have something like that's proprietary for
Mhm.
us. That will help us to be more profitable and control and know what to order. You know how much time I spend just this week, I made a radical move and I decided all 5 locations, no more cash. That's it. We had some theft and we had this, and every day I had tried to build another cash bot app that was going to help them close a register every day and track and was it right, was it wrong, all that nonsense. I never finished it. Thank you. And so, but then every day I'm dealing with this store, dealing with that store, and then this one's stealing, this one's not stealing, this one doesn't have change, it's a Saturday, there's no banks, like all that. And I'm like, we're done. Just like that. I was like, we
Yeah.
are done. We are going all digital.
I
That's
have an
it.
affinity with cash. Like I like cash.
I
Like
like it too. But I
yeah.
just save myself at least 5
Yes.
hours a week. And
I
I
love
know
Bitcoin.
oh my gosh. Is that because you have a lot of it?
I plead the fifth.
Mhm.
As you're saying that about the prompts, I think earlier, a couple months ago, I think it was in August, where OpenAI, they dropped the chat GPT prompts for any role, so you can actually like grab the prompts now that they have. And as I was looking at them, they're like super simple. So to your point, Tracy,
Mhm.
before we used to have this, like, I mean, you can still do the JSON and all this,
Mhm.
markdown like prompts and XML prompts. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, essentially it's just like,
Don't
it's
worry
like
about it.
Don't
some
worry
sort
about
of
it.
essentially
Necessary
code,
anymore.
but you don't really need it anymore unless you're doing
Yeah.
like really complicated stuff. You can just like get away with like a 3-sentence prompt and then you'll be fine. So they have made it really easy for you to actually like prompt these things, and you can find these in the OpenAI Academy.
Mhm.
If
Yeah,
you
it's a
didn't know they had an
whole
academy, they have a whole thing in there.
Because I mean, and that's a good point that you bring up because I feel like a lot of these tools notoriously are not really good at like the actual company teaching you how to use them. So when you go to their site, like when they first come out, it's kind of like you have to rely on like some people who just spent the time and
Mhm.
messed around in there and they started sharing their journey on YouTube because that's where all the the hacks and the shortcuts were. And I experienced that specifically. Lindy was like terrible in the beginning with instructions. I'm like, how do I even do this? I joined all of their little communities and stuff, and it was really hard to figure out. So I think a lot of them had that, and they're getting better and better and better with their academies, and ChatGPT being one of them. And their library is pretty extensive. And the having to prompt like that, it's good to know if you need to like whip it out to fix something that's like not quite right, but it's also like not necessary. Like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
think
no.
about this. Like, I built my first GPT in January of 24. I mean, we're almost 2 years in, which went really fast.
It did. I published my first article about ChatGPT in I think January 23, which is crazy. It's crazy.
It's been 2 years.
And could you have figured that it would be like so easy? I mean, you probably thought someday like the Jetsons, right? Like, we'll just push the button and it'll cook, right? Or whatever. But in the beginning, I don't know, in 24, it was pretty laborious to kind of connect it to things. And it just was complicated and like clunky. And it would work, then it wouldn't work. And you had to build all these bridges basically to connect things. And now, like, really not. It's like Zapier when it came out was like, oh, like, wow, you just connect things? Okay. Like, you are just the bridge for everything. All right. I don't know.
Heather's a big zapper. So were you in there recently, Heather, figuring some stuff out? I know we were talking about a little bit earlier doing a zap with the funnel that we did. Anything new and exciting with the zaps?
I have not had time. I'm trying to figure out this venue stuff. So it's just like
hard.
It's so hard. And then some people saw the chat like earlier this week. So I've had like 3 or 4 new team members. And so I'm having to catch them up to speed too and find this venue. So I haven't had any AI time this week.
So what Heather's referencing is Pace's Creative Nation tour. She's one of the co-hosts on the stop. So I'm a co-host at the Philly stop. I don't know, Will, Tracy, if you guys are co-hosts. Charlotte, are you Charlotte?
Charlotte. But they keep giving me extra co-hosts. Like, I did the hard part and I got the venue, and now they keep adding people. This owners club person is going to co-host with it. I'm like, oh, they are? Oh, okay. Like, it's just okay. So yeah, it was.
I have Miami coming up, and it's the same week as Owners Club retreat.
Oh, so that one! And you guys are going to have like 500 people.
Yeah, you're going to have a gang of people.
There's a lot of people already.
Rosie was saying today.
Rosie, Julie Collette, and a couple other people that are in the group doing it, and I was like, we're gonna need to get like a convention center, guys. Like, realistically speaking, especially if it's going to be like, also like doing stuff and education wise, we need like a decent place.
Mine is not really going to be conducive for that, but it's a Friday, like 2 weeks before Christmas in Charlotte.
Mine's Monday, December 22nd in Philly.
Oh my gosh.
Mine was like Friday before Christmas. It was like, so I got a place that would hold at least 300, but it's outdoors. It's at the Tipsy Pickle in Charlotte. So if you're in Charlotte, come. It's called the Tipsy Pickle, 30,000 square feet. It's near my candy store in the Camp North End, but we're outdoors on the patio with the warmers, and we have pickleball courts and such. But I have a gut feeling it's going to be more like 500 people. Charlotte, I mean, when we did ours last year, it was like almost 300 people, and it was just after Aspire. So I just think I'm glad we're outside because we could spread out. But I don't know.
I'm planning for 500 too, so it's a little challenging, like, to find something in Atlanta that would work for 500 people.
And you gotta rent that entire hotel.
Yeah, so we're doing sponsors. We have a couple lined up that we're doing like $500 per sponsor just to try to ramp up some money for venue cost.
Right.
Because there's nothing that's going to be free. I hosted Pace, or I found the venue for Pace whenever he came through for Aspire in January, and I got a free venue, and it could hold like 700 people. It was luck, though. I'm realizing that now. It was a lot of luck.
Yeah. Hit them up again.
We had ours.
500 for sure coming through.
I know. Well, Rosie said they were talking about maybe doing a yacht, and she was like, this is not going to happen.
Oh, that would be so cool. Yachts are my favorite. In Miami? Is that what you're meaning?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to
happen. I need like a cruise.
You need a cruise ship.
Yeah, I need like the Bimini cruise.
It's called Carnival. or whoever. I don't cruise, so I don't know all the things. Norwegian, whatever. Call
No,
them.
Norwegian is too ratchet.
Is it? I have
Hey,
no
that's
idea.
one I go on.
I'm
I've
just
Go on.
never
kidding.
been on a cruise.
That's
Be
because the
easier than getting
alcohol's
sponsorship
included.
money is just use the boat.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
True.
I
Maybe when they're
mean,
docking it for like the day.
yeah, you never know. I mean,
So if any of you are interested on that note, if anybody's hearing this as a host of the Creative Nation Tour, I created a funnel for the Creative Nation Tour for Philly to where what I'm going to do is to RSVP, it directs directly back to Pace's main RSVP site. But then also
ooh.
I added a pop-up to where if people wanted to get notifications about future events in like Philly and the surrounding area, they can sign up and do that. So it's a way to still channel it in the right way, promote our event. And me and Johnny Mac are co-hosting. I assume Jamie, you'll be there too, because Jamie's like
Mhm.
right down the street. Um, and so it's just a way for us to like advertise it in that way and get visibility
They
like
didn't
in our
tell us we
market.
could do that. They told us we had to send them there, but that's very smart. They
I am
told us.
sending them there. They
Well,
have to
no, I just like that you were creative about it. I mean, because I was like, this is like,
and they gave us more
oh,
access. So do
yes,
you want me to show it to you? Do
yes,
you
I
want me to show it to
do.
you? Hold on a second. It looks exactly like their funnel page, by
I
the way.
love that.
But meaning just to keep it consistent. And
Yeah,
I
you
love that
want
we
it to
have
be consistent. You don't
some
want people to get
branding.
there and be like, why am I here? Am I in the right place? Did I hit the wrong button? Yeah,
So
amazing.
if you guys, my point in saying all of this, if anybody
I want a
wants to
copy, please and thank
exactly,
you. Yes.
exactly. Let me get out of my forms here. Let me get out of my forms. So sites, funnels. All
You
right.
could just describe it and we could all imagine it. I'm just kidding.
No.
Sorry. I'm just
That's
kidding.
no fun.
Like imagination.
Right.
Another
Imagination. Yeah.
that's another
I love it.
SpongeBob. All right. Activate.
Because I
All
have
right,
a site for Carolina's Creative, so that's perfect.
can you see this?
Yeah.
So what I did was I literally just lifted it from Pace's Creative Nation tour site. And I just
Mhm.
have to do a few little tweaks before I publish it. But this button, I need to mess with this a little bit. And that's going to go straight to Pace's page to RSVP, which essentially looks like this page. And
Mhm.
it's just all it's really doing is saying who the hosts are, highlighting the host, highlighting. I didn't because typically like on my other funnels that have these it would go directly to my like affiliate link, but this one's just blank. I don't have this going back, but there is an opportunity if somebody's just a single host to maybe put their affiliate link there for sub two if they're doing a
Mhm.
lot of marketing, deal sauce. This is our sponsor who is paying for our entire venue, but they are going through a logo rebrand. So he's going to get me that. And then, see, that's just me. I'm not done. I got
Mhm.
distracted, but I'm actually removing this form. I'm not going to have a form there because this will go to Paces. And then then I have a pop up that comes up later that I need to finish. And I'll just show
So
you
they're
real quick.
landing. So if I may follow,
Mm.
like understand, so they're coming. You're doing a QR or whatever. They're coming to this page.
And then this will pop up. I need to fix the color,
Oh,
but it's because it's still
something
in
will
draft.
pop
But
up
join our
before
affiliate
they
list
hit the button.
um no, they can just go straight and avoid it. It might be. I haven't
Well,
gone.
so why are you? So I guess my question is, why are you doing it? Is it to cookie them so you can track them back? Are you? Because you're not collecting information here, right? Unless they're asking for
Once I put a form
notification.
here, like
Mhm.
if they're like, "Oh, this is really cool. I want to get clicked in locally
Mhm.
directly with local people," they have that opportunity to
Well,
put their
I'm
info
wondering
there.
why, because you can, Jamie or Heather or Will, well, all of you, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that you can collect it and forward.
Yes.
So you collect it, the info, and then forward. and have it
Oh,
auto, like make it sticky so it automatically fills it, and then they just have to submit for the original.
They would
When you have the data, they have the data.
no, it wouldn't be sticky because it's in between different.
Oh, it's different funnels, different
Mhm.
Yeah,
pages.
I don't know if you could sticky it in between, but you could potentially pass the parameters over. I
Mm.
haven't played with that, but it could work. They just have to fill out that form twice. So if they don't fill out the form on the second one, because we all know people get distracted,
Hmm.
then Pace's team won't have their information and they won't be able to count them.
Right.
Mhm.
But you could
so
also
I
do
need
a
to count
zap.
them, they need to count them.
You could do a zap or something to do it. I knew someone who used to do that. So like he was in charge of getting people. Oh gosh, who was it? It might have been Roland Frazier. But anyway, he was doing an event and he did exactly kind of what you did, where he mimicked, but he put his in front of theirs. So as soon as they opted in on his page, he had a program that would send it to the other page and fill it out and submit it. So he was doing exactly what he promised, which was sending people to act, but he would collect it first. Just was an interesting way. There's got to be a way to do it because I know he's done it. But that's what I thought you were doing. I thought you were kind of collecting and then passing
Mhm.
on. You just made it
No,
pretty.
no, I was just using it as like a local promotion, right? But still driving them back to where
Mm-hmm.
they're supposed to be pointed to.
Yeah.
And then opportunistically, like if I mean, most people may or may not fill that out. Like I wasn't worried about capturing all the
Mm-hmm.
RSVPs. I was just like, hey, if people do want notification about more Philly events, because I hold a monthly meetup, there's other people that hold meetups in the area and stuff. So if they wanted access to stuff like that, we
No, I
could do
love
that.
that. Well, because then you
And
can talk about your event there. Like they know that page, like what's happening. Can't you put your data there about what's happening?
yeah. Well, and here's the other thing. Like part of what we're doing is we're helping get the word out and helping advertise and help get RSVPs and participation and all the things.
Mhm.
And while we're doing that, we wanted to be like it's an opportunity to highlight the co-host
I love
also
that. Yeah.
separately in the local market to be a local presence that people can reach out to
Mhm.
if they need help, if they want to show up. And because we teach a different topic every month, it's a free meetup. We don't charge entrance.
Mhm.
People can come and learn, and they don't have to be in the community. They could be outside of the community. That doesn't matter. It's more about like getting people together and like helping them get deals done, stuff like that.
You
I love
could
that.
ask you could ask Pace's team if they could build like a little simple workflow that would accept a webhook. Because I was looking at the form code, like there's other CRMs where you could just copy the action on the form and submit like a post to that. But the way that Go High Level is built for their forms, you wouldn't be able to do that. You would just have to um, do a webhook. It blocks that
Mm.
part down. But
Mm.
that would be pretty simple for their team to set up, and that could be like the start of. Well, there's a ton of people like after this too. Like the first one's next week. There's
Mhm.
like 300 to go.
Yeah. Well, and then I was just thinking it's kind of like it'd be cool to have like your own replicated website for
Yeah,
your market.
Hmm.
I love
Just
that.
because it helps with just helps with your local like recognition. So Will could be like, come to my yacht party.
Of course.
Well, that's it. Originally, they said they were going to do that and they were going to do the flyers, and now they're not doing the
Oh,
flyers. It's all been,
that's
I mean,
okay.
again, it is what it is. That's totally fine. So it's like, oh, here's the ball. Nope, we'll take the ball back. We're going to do it. So, and they had talked originally about QR codes with affiliates to kind of link that way if they joined Sub2 and they came through you. But this would make that easier,
Yeah. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's just you have to work out like if you have co-hosts, like, there's more than one host in
Yeah.
every city. It's like how do you decide to round robin people
We just
who
said we'd split it. That's all. So, but
oh,
for us, but
but how do you know?
where
How do
they
you know
came.
the
Yeah.
source? Yeah.
Well, you could set up a specific QR for it,
Well, yeah, we could.
you know,
Yeah. And then
and a
just split
specific, right.
everything.
So, and that if they came from that page or whatever.
It's a good
But,
idea.
um,
Yeah.
and originally Rachel mentioned that, and then she was like, "Oh, well, no, we're not going to do that." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." So, um, anyway, she's like, "That's maybe how it should have been done, but not this time." It's like, "That's fine. We'll figure it out." So,
Hmm.
yeah, but no, I like that. I love that you have that, and it looks like it has the continuity of matching. I love that, and
Yeah.
'cause I wouldn't have known how to do that. Well, I mean, maybe with
Whoever's a host, I'll share it with you.
please and thank you. I would
Yeah.
love that. And
And
because
then
then we can
if
say
we can,
where it is and what the time is and what's happening and what the agenda
yeah,
is or whatever. Bookmark
yeah,
this page, so to say. I love
yes.
The
that.
other thing we could do, April, is get a webhook from NewReach. So when your form's filled out, it can trigger all the information directly into their workflow because they don't necessarily need the form. They need the information from the form in their workflow. So you could do the form on your end and webhook it directly into their workflow.
That's smart too, Jamie. Yeah, I could see if we can arrange all the things.
Well,
Thinker
I
for
like
putting that
it.
together.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing. Thank you. Well, I just think, well, because when I hosted,
not done. It
well,
needs a little zhuzhing, but
well,
it's okay.
when I hosted it and in February, right after you, Heather, um, they use what's Eventbrite? Is that the normal one that they use?
Yeah, I can't with Eventbrite.
And it was wrong, and then they put the wrong time in. They
Oh,
put
you
like
used their hosted
Central.
one? I created my own
They
Eventbrite.
wouldn't let me. They said I had to use theirs, and then it became a whole
Oh,
thing. See, I do follow rules, so I have to start to question authority more. But so like I'm like waiting for permission. But anyway, so yeah, it was a hot mess. And then people were mad at me because they thought it was a certain time, but it wasn't, but it was sub 2, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are killing me." Like you have one job, and that's to set up the forum. I did all the other hard parts. Like, come on, work with me. So anyway, people lived and it was fine, but it's nice when you have a little more control over it because then you can make sure it's right as opposed to relying on other people to make sure it's right. So,
So when he was in North Jersey just recently for Aspire tour, so when Pace was here for Aspire, it was cool because, you get into the green room, you do all the cool things when you get to hang out with them for the day. But what we did, and I got airdropped in kind of close to the time, but Jason did a really great job of securing the meetup location and advertising it and stuff like that. And it was outdoors. So it didn't matter,
yeah.
right? It was in Hoboken. It didn't matter. Like everybody could show up. And, there were a couple hundred people there. The thing that I coordinated literally in under 48 hours with the help of AI, by the way, was the owners club dinner at Del Frisco's. And
Uh,
so I had 48 hours to let everybody know within 2 hours of the location, like, hey, you're invited to this dinner if you're local, if you want to drive in. And so, that's one element too that because I know this is an AI hotline podcast. I don't want to
sorry.
get too
Yes,
old
I
and
love
not
it.
talk about AI.
We're doing automations and connections and
Yeah,
bridges
yeah.
and
And we can
how
AI stuff
to.
and Go High Level has all the AI things now,
It does.
even more so, which is
Yeah.
cool.
I know.
Yeah.
One of my new things I have on
Speaking,
my websites is AI bot for all the locations because I have one brand one and then I have the same website, although they have their own domains for all of the locations, which because they all have different events, they all have different times, they all have different obviously phone numbers and so but the AI bot like answers questions about like, so chat with me. And again, somebody else set it up, but I was like, "Oh, I'm so fancy. Even the Kanzi store is fancy with AI."
It's
And now I
awesome.
changed the time, so now I have to just change the source document like that it's pulling from. But it was just fascinating to see it like going back and forth. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't have to answer a question on Lead Connector. Amazing." Be like, 5 days late. Sorry. Yes, we have gummy sharks. Sorry. Yes. I love that it
It's
answers.
the little things. Yeah, it's the little
Mhm.
things. What were you gonna say, Will?
Oh, I was just gonna say that you could probably set that up for your for every host, essentially, like having a live chat that hey, if you have any questions about the event during these dates, you can just message here, and then that way they will like, you will like have them save the link for future contacts, and then
Love
all you do
that.
is just like have a database of like what is going to happen that weekend.
Yeah.
So you still collect the information, but you're still sending them to the
Yeah.
right place.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
We
Um,
close the loop. Good job, Will.
That's good. But yeah,
Are you
I'm
doing
gonna
that
have
with
to
Gemini?
find a. I'm gonna. I'm doing it with Agent Kit and the Chat Kit of OpenAI, just to make sure that I
yeah.
use the latest technologies. And jumping back into the AI conversation, I wanted to actually ask you guys in regards to the um the latest and newest browser from OpenAI, Atlas. I think April, you were talking about it a little bit earlier.
Oh my Oh my gosh. I just did a YouTube video on it that's getting edited. It's so exciting. Have you guys played around in there?
I
I
have
started to.
already, yeah, I've already gone through like four different browsers. I started with first Chrome, then I went to Brave, then after Brave, I went to Arc. From Arc, I decided, you know what, let me just try Dia, and then from Dia, I jumped into Comet, and then I stick with Comet. So
And I did a lot of those similar ones, but I also throw in DuckDuckGo. I tried that one too. But
they have
Okay,
a
what is
browser.
it?
DuckDuckGo has a browser.
yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. They
Yeah,
were
it's pretty
just
cool.
nice.
Yes. 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 So you guys, this what happened to Will? He went into
He
an
went over to
alternate
check out
universe.
DuckDuckGo.
He
I'm
went into
Huh?
an alternate
I'm
universe
back.
and
I'm
now he's
back.
back.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, so, so OpenAI really did something awesome with this Atlas, with this ChatGPT Atlas. It's only for Mac users. So
I'm out.
if you don't have a Mac, you just got to wait a minute. Like I'm sure it'll be for other people too. But the way to find it is just go to chatgpt.com, Atlas, Google it, do whatever at whatever browser it will come up. And then you just, you download it as an app and then you drag it or you download it, drag it as an app, and then it shows up just like your Google does. And do you want me to show you?
Oh,
Show
please
us.
give us a
You
tour.
guys. So
Can you can
I still have so you don't have to wait. I still have my tabs open. This is so exciting for
By the way,
me.
we have Jim Molinex and Monique Fell here in the side chat. So thank you guys for
Yay.
tuning in.
Ooh.
Yes, you guys are amazing. All right,
Is it like, is it its own browser? Is it
it's its
overlay a
own
browser?
browser.
So
It's
it's
its own
like
browser.
replacing Chrome, so to say. Like it's
Yeah.
its
Let
own
me close
thing.
out of
it's
some of my
literally
like drives and emails. It's
it literally
literally
feels like yeah, it feels like Chrome, but you're running ChatGPT and you get the best of both worlds.
oh my gosh.
I
So
have a class
how
about this next week.
let me
All your
see if
favorites come over, all your passwords come over. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, April. Go ahead.
No,
no.
I'm
Please
trying
go.
to.
Please. Oh, Riverside only says share a Chrome tab, a window. All right. Will it let me? Oh, that's weird. It's not pulling it up as a tab like it does for Chrome. Oh, tricky. All right. So I could do my entire screen, right? I feel so exposed when I do my entire screen. What in the world is going on here? Hold on.
It'll be
Oh,
like
shoot.
once you open the one screen, it'll go away.
Yeah, I'm
It
going to get
should.
there. Bam.
There you go.
Can you see
There he
this?
goes.
I can't see you guys, but can you see my screen?
Yes, we see it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So it looks just like the homepage of Google, but ChatGPT. So can you see the top left-hand corner where it says ChatGPT Atlas?
Yes.
Yes.
Hmm?
Here, let me put
After
it in
you
full screen so
install it,
everybody can see it. There we go.
it is full screen.
Yeah, now it is full screen.
I
Go
can
ahead.
see it.
Okay, cool. And then you see how it's down here in the little like browser icon.
Mhm.
So it's so cool. It has all of the things that we're used to and love, like the agent mode. So this is what I did. right? So what happened? Well, actually, see. Let me do a new one, and let's just go here, right? And I'm like, oh, here's Pace. And if I just up on the top right hand corner hit Ask Chat, bam, ChatGPT pops open right there. And then you can do all the fun stuff here on the corner and have it run in agent mode and do all of the things while you're on the site. I'm going to show you some really cool stuff that it did. So I think I'm safe to share this Discord channel. I don't think anything's, it's fine. So what I did here was I tested it in Discord. I was like, what's it going to do in Discord? And so what happened was I was like, yesterday I made a Google Gem, help them find car wash stuff. And then I posted it in Discord. And I was like, write me a post. And so what it did was it recognized that I was in this Discord channel of OC, announcements or whatever, OC general chat. And then it went ahead and it wrote me a post. And what it did was it scanned the whole channel for tone and sentiment, or I'm assuming that that's what it did for tone and sentiment. And it was something that I could actually use without having to do anything except remove the M dashes. Right. So I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then I went to my LinkedIn and I was like, it scanned my LinkedIn. I didn't tell it to scan it, but it is on this page, so it'll do it. And then I said, hey, this is my LinkedIn, any updates or recommendations? I didn't want to get specific. And so then it went through my LinkedIn, I assume that it, expanded all of this stuff. Right. And so then it gave me recommendations. And then I stopped there because I was like, a squirrel moment. I went to every single tab. I was like, oh, let me try it here. Let me try it here. Let me try it here. And then in school, I was like, look at the school. Because what I did here for my YouTube video was I had asked it questions earlier in the day. And then I wanted to know if it remembered because when I opened up this chat again, it was blank. So I said, do you remember what I asked you to do with my AI Momentum Lab school community the last time we chatted? And again, I talk to text. I'm not typing anything. So I literally just clicked down here and I talked to it and it said, yes, the last time we talked about your AI Momentum Lab, we were talking about, all this stuff. And it was specific to what I put in the chat. It wouldn't have any other way to know that. And so then, and then I had it do like, you guys, it'll take a minute to do this, but I just wanted to test it. And I said, can you actually change the color of the RSVP now button at the top of the page from red to blue? It went around and it clicked around. I undid it, but it did it.
Wow.
If you're going to redo it, I just put hands off. Now it's super fast for me to change that color, but I wanted just to see the capability. But I put it in agent mode and I did that and it did the thing. And it does all this like magical sparkly stuff when it's taking over and like essentially being taking over your computer for you. And the UI is like just really good for that. It's just like you're like, "Oh my gosh, it literally feels like magic." So my thing was imagine where am I? I don't even know how to get out of here because there it is. I was like, my thing stopped. Can you see me or
Yes.
did I stop sharing?
No,
Yeah.
you're good.
Now we're
My
back.
screens are all screwed up because of this is a different kind of browser. So I was like, imagine how many times have you gotten stuck in a piece of software? Like I've done this in N8, I've done it everywhere in every platform. I just screenshot it and I'm like, oh, and I put it in Claude or wherever. And I'm like, how do I get out of this? What's the fix? And troubleshoot it. You can literally just be like, ChatGPT, take the wheel and tell it what to do. And you go do something else and come back and it's done. It's freaking amazing. And I haven't even scratched the surface. The other thing I asked it to do, and I should have shared that tab, but I was so excited. I just got right into the browser, the very first screen that I showed you. And I was like, give me the most insane use cases for real estate agents, go high level users, and recruiters, because that's what I'm going to use it for. And it gave me these insane use cases. And so you guys can ask the same question and get maybe a better answer or a different answer or whatever. But I was I was like so excited. Just
So I
because
have a
it's
couple
convenient.
questions. I have
Hmm.
a couple questions. So when you created it or when you started using it, what was the kind of like migration from one browser to the other? Like, did it provide you like an onboarding? Did it ask you like, okay, you want to import all your passwords from X1C a browser, just so that people like that have that they're just used to using Chrome or used to using is Edge is Internet Explorer a thing still
Edge.
not right?
I do not like Edge, but no. Yeah. Yeah, you just sign in with your. So what I did was because my personal email is my ChatGPT login. So I
Mhm.
logged in and I grabbed ChatGPT Atlas with that. But then in ChatGPT Atlas, I signed into my AprilAI.io workspace Gmail, and I could still be in there and do all of the things. And I already have those favorites streaming across each other.
Hmm.
And so it just brought it right in because I gave it permission. So I gave it permission to remember my history. I gave it permission to, because I'm not searching anything crazy. I gave it permission to like, pull in my favorites. And there's like some other things. There's one part that I skipped and I'm trying to remember what it was that I skipped. And I'm like, maybe not right now, maybe later, but it pulls all of that in. So I actually feel like I'm in Google Chrome as far as the favorites and the
Mhm.
bookmarks go. Feels just like that. And the other trippy thing was so in Go High Level, when I said just change that color from red to blue, I thought, because a lot of these other tools that you hook into, it's like re-sign in and code and well, you and I know I'm sending codes and so just to share spreadsheet or share presentations or whatever. And it logged in. I didn't do anything. It not only did it bring my favorites, it brought all my passwords. So if somebody's scared, don't do it. I like to live on the edge a little bit. And so I just brought it all over and I was like, yes, speed and convenience. So it logged right into, I mean, I instantly thought I was going to be like, buzzkill, log in. Nope. Just went right on in and started doing magic.
And
When you start to use it,
when you do log in, it'll let you do Google or um, Safari. Right now, it doesn't do Edge yet. When you bring your favorites over, your favorites and your password are two separate tabs, so you can bring your favorites over without your password, or vice versa.
yeah.
Um, and then one other thing to play with, if you want to get into a deeper, Codex, which is part of OpenAI, does all the back end coding, and it now has a self healing piece built into that they just put out this past week. But when you're in there doing that, down the bottom, you can turn on Codex as well. So while your agent and Codex are both on, whether it's Go High Level or anything else you're building, it'll go out and build it in Codex and then come back in and use the agent to put it in. So instead of the agent doing so much moving around, it's literally just grabbing code and dropping in real quick. And it cuts that moving around time for what the agent's taken and cuts that time extremely faster.
So
Yes.
when you say the agent, you mean like ChatGPT agent?
Yeah, so when you have the chat, like what April was doing, is using the agent within inside of the Atlas, and you're
Mhm.
sitting there watching it, and it works amazing. But it's also like watching AOL, except you can see it move around.
Mm-hmm.
So the speed of it is very slow right now. And by adding codecs in, it'll go out and write code and come back and drop code in instead of doing everything just by moving. Um,
Interesting. Okay, that's
so
cool.
like
Imagine everybody
say
on it. Imagine traffic.
so like if you want to go in and build a website as an example, and the mouse will move around, you can sit there and watch it build a whole site, or it'll go use Codex, build the site, drop it in with code, and then it goes around and does some editing, and you just, instead of being in 20 minutes, it took you 3.
Dude, we're so cooked. That's it.
We are so cooked. I mean, those N8N bros are done. They're done, son.
We
They're
are so
totally done.
cooked. Well, I think
And
I think
Plex,
there's still a
um,
use case for N8N or Make or any of these automation tools because like you can create very specific stuff that works together, but this for like the day-to-day user, like these those tools are for like business systems, and like you can create really complex systems in edit n. But for the day-to-day user, I mean, if you think about it, OpenAI is just, they just want to be the new Google. That's what it is. Because everything that you use is Google. I mean, you have Google Workspace, you have Google Chrome, you have YouTube, you have all these different, like products they use from Google. So I think they're moving in that direction. I think, I mean, look at Sora. I mean, it's going to
Sora.
be
Oh my
YouTube.
god.
It's going to be YouTube just for AI like slob.
Yeah. And I mean, it's definitely something to where, also, I think a lot of the big tech companies are embedding AI just easier and easier and easier and easier in the experience. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when I was in that Go High Level funnel, you can natural language to build a funnel. It'll ask you, what's your domain, what's your industry, what's your this, what's the purpose, what's that. And it takes a long time, but it'll create a funnel for you. So you can prompt a funnel in the funnel builder in Go High Level. You can also do that like Jamie explained, which is insane. And then the other thing is well, we can't forget about your baby Google, because what they released in labs also is really insane, and it's kind of a lovable killer. So it's like, I mean, I think it's going to be like these giants, right? I think it's going to be these giants. And maybe if some of these smaller AI companies that have a lot of visibility, if they have an opportunity to get acquired, maybe they should. I don't know, because I don't know what's going to happen to some of them.
Yeah, I agree. Just to make mention of what April was saying for Google Labs, you can just go labs.google, and you can see all the experiments that Google essentially offers in there. These are all like things that are just quite literally being experimented with. Different things like there's a tool called Mixboard where you can add like inspiration for, like, let's say you're trying to do your the home. Let me just share my screen here. Let's say you're trying to put some decorations in your home, or you're trying to do this for a new property that you're designing, especially with co-living being so hot right now. You can literally come in here and like design, get some inspiration around there. Same thing goes with like Opal, which is essentially a N8N, or I guess you could call it agent kit style build out. But there's a bunch in here that you can like come in and like play with completely free. Some of them you have to get accepted, but yeah, this is what April was mentioning regarding labs.
Yeah, before we started this, or maybe was during this, a tool was mentioned, Replit was mentioned. I was like, "Yep, I need to cancel that too." So my cancellation list is like going like this as Google and OpenAI do
Hmm.
things. I'm like, "Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that." So, yeah. I don't know, it's just exciting to see. It's fun to play with, and I also love to hear how people are using it. So, yeah, good
Well,
stuff.
one question that always comes up when it comes to like using all this stuff, because right now it feels like a lot of shiny object syndrome, where like there's
Mhm.
a new update always coming up, but the actual use cases, I would love to. I mean, Jamie, I know you do a lot in Go High Level when it comes to the AI stuff that got released, but um, what are some of the use cases that you're seeing more and more, either these tools, either Go High Level or any other tool that you're currently using in your business, that has implemented AI and that you have actually used it? So to start off, in my case, we use in my agency, we use Asana a ton, but the only use case for Asana that we find so far is just to summarize project tasks being completed. It's the only thing that like so far has been really
Mm.
useful for. So like all these AI features that these companies are integrating with feels a lot more like they just feel like a very much just what do you call it, like a buzzword. So there's not really a good way to I guess understand what the ROI is But I think in a tool like high level, I think there might be more to it than in a project management tool, for example. So I wonder what some of the use
There
cases
is,
you found.
and I'll use Asana as an example because the way the new technology is coming out, it's literally starting to marry a lot of these things together much easier. So in Go High Level, you can have a customer make a response of saying they need something or whatever, and it will now automatically put the task into Asana. So if the customer itself in Go High Level is attached to a VA or a vendor or whoever owns the account, when somebody makes a comment in Go High Level, that will automatically make the task into Asana. But then it can also send a Discord or a Slack message out to somebody saying, "Hey, go check this." But then it works in reverse that when something's completed or not completed, it can go back and go through Asana and go back out and push it back to the customer saying, "Hey, we're working on this. There was a delay or whatever, or it's been completed." So just those things all working together seamlessly is huge. Um, Same thing with Airtable now is like tied to Go High Level. The Notion's tied now in with Go High Level, and it's all like a native connection. And now with their new um, agent capability, it almost works very similar to N8N. So then you can build your workflows and have it go outside of Go High Level and back in right from the internal workflow. So then you're able to take the LLMs and all the other things that you're using on the outside and still use them as you do, but actually still use them within the system like Go High Level.
Interesting. So from Go High Level itself, you can actually already connect. I mean, they did release a bunch of nodes that connect with like project management tools. So you have found that the use case for the automation plus the AI is actually useful in that case if somebody's using an outside tool.
Yes. Um, I've been for the last week taking a lot of my N8N workflows and switching them around and putting them actually into Go High Level and using their node flow. Not everything in there is available that's available in N8N, but there's a lot of stuff in there that is. And then I'm also able to use the API and webhooks to go from Go High Level directly to N8N and then back in. So, as an example, if I'm using Gemini to scrape Gmail and a lead comes in to a bird dog leads comes into an email address, I can extract that lead. I can run it through an underwriter to match it to a buy box, take it out of that buy box, and then put it into a workflow for whoever is in control of that. And I can have a scoring system to say, hey, this 85% meets your buy box. Do you want to move forward or not? And before that, all had to be done outside of Go High Level. And now I can do 80 to 90% of it within Go High Level.
Wow.
That's
So
awesome. I was
that's
going to
great.
ask you that. I was going to say how many of your N8N workflows have you killed? Because I know some of yours are very elaborate. They've got a lot of phases to them. And so I imagine
Mm-hmm.
that's going to save you a lot of build time going forward.
It does. And I've been able to take a lot of them and say instead of something having 30 or 40 nodes, it might only have 5 because
Yeah.
everything's in Go High Level now and it hits a spot and then it jumps out and hits those 5 nodes and come back. So they work better, they're smoother, they're quicker. You're doing more native stuff inside of Go High Level. So the back and forth, the webhooks, a lot of that stuff goes away. So things start working cleaner and smoother. The cost to run them is actually cheaper in Go High Level than using them outside. Go High Level struck a deal with OpenAI, so the actual use case is cheaper to use it in Go High Level than directly in your Pro account or whatever you're using.
Interesting.
That is interesting. So if you think about, and apologies if this gets too technical for anyone listening, but you know how you used to have to restructure data after an output so it could be readable to go in? Is that step like you don't have to do that? You don't have to do anything with the data to restructure it so it can come in and go high level? Or
So
you
when the data comes in, you can now say you can put Gemini or any of the LLMs, you can put it in place as an agent. So when that information's come in, that agent can automatically phase it and put it into whatever you need it to be. So you can explain to it, say, hey, because you can in the memory you can add memory to the agent within the workflow. So within that, you can say, hey, memorize this form that I need you to fill out. So when all this information comes
Mhm.
in, structure it to match this form, and then it'll go in and fill the form out for you. And then as the form's filled out, you can take it to the next step, and it's like, okay, this is filled out. What do you want it to do?
And the agent reliability is there, you think?
So far, it's working better than I do.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it's perfect, but I don't know if any of us are.
Sometimes when you have just like a parsing node or a structure node, sometimes that's a little more
Mm,
consistent than an agent node. So
right.
that's why I was asking. I was just
Yeah.
seeing is are your instructions I mean I'm sure you have great instructions, but sometimes it's still a little like do what
Mhm.
I want.
He does what he wants.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm wondering if Atlas using ChatGPT Atlas is going to if it actually could work within those build outs in a way. I mean, I'm sure right now it's a lot faster if I just build it, right? Or one of us builds it. But
Yeah.
I think eventually, I mean, the capabilities of that will be crazy for you to like know what to tell the agent and then build it. And then Jamie, I feel like you're queuing up there to say something, so I want to hear it.
I started playing with it earlier and I didn't get that far, but if you open Go High Level inside of Atlas, you have ChatGPT running on the right side.
Mhm,
Inside of Go High Level, inside of Go High Level now, you have a lot of AI agents already built into a lot of the new workflows. So whether it's a workflow or web builder or anything like that, which is also open AI,
mhm.
and you can use the one AI to talk to the other AI. So you can prompt everything in the right side, get the information, and then it goes over and tells the other AI what to do. So it's actually writing your prompt for you. But I didn't play with it that far to figure out if it's actually worth it or if it's just.
Oh, dude, that's such
But
a
I'm trying to figure out,
cliffhanger right
like,
now.
does that solve part of the hallucination factor? So that's kind of what I'm playing with to see if
Gotcha,
it fits.
gotcha.
Well, yeah. Well, I learned that some of the hallucination because I don't know. Hopefully you'll see me on Dealmaker November 14th. But one of the things because I'm pitching this AI thing, but um one of the things that I learned from our chief AI officer was you can essentially eliminate hallucination by putting like a world model on the LLM. And that's what they all don't have essentially. They're all just kind of like and then they hallucinate. But if you spend the time, I mean, it's very complex. I'm not saying this is easy, just like throw a model on it, but and it's there's a lot to think about. And it was probably too difficult to do something that's as vast as like, OpenAI or, any other large language model. Large language model is what LLM is for those who don't know. But but it does reduce it to almost like it makes it much more um, consistent and accurate. And so I thought that was interesting. And when you do that, like say for instance, you put a world model on sales agents and you're programming them for or you're instructing them for psychological triggers, sentiment, all the things that you would want a sales agent to have. If you put a world model on it, they don't go rogue. They're
Mhm.
consistent. They're not having that hallucination. Again, it's difficult and it's all algorithms and like advanced math, but if they could put like a world model on like a chunk or somehow do that, that would be amazing because then it's like they just talk to each other and off to the races. Now, this is like for us or somebody's using a lot of AI. Some of it you're like that's cool, but it's maybe not like a major advancement in productivity or leverage. It's really just convenient on the side there. But for the person who is just getting started using AI and didn't know that or wasn't using it maybe to the level that all of us are, this is like it's like game changing for them. It's like mind blowing that stuff like this can happen. So I'm always
Mm-hmm.
excited for the person who's who's like totally dazzled by it, and they can, get a lot accomplished that they couldn't have done otherwise.
I want to quickly define the hallucination so that way people, I guess, understand it a little bit more. Hallucination is when the AI makes up facts or actions that are not true. Now, this is because it goes outside of its training data. So it's trying to guess something. And because he tries to guess something, then essentially, that's where he hallucinates. I was called out by a friend earlier today because my last TikTok post when I was mentioning about hallucinations. And he's like, dude, that's not the technical term, like, and all this stuff, right? I was like, man, like TikTok, I need to make sure that things flow through and like people understand that, like, you can't trust it. So that was the message. But he called me out in a good way, though. He called me out in a good way. He's like, I expect more from you, kind of thing. So I just want to make sure that I say that here, just so that people understand that, like, that is a digital, I guess, quote unquote, deviation of like what it's trained on. So like that's the reason why I think it outputs, like, that's why you can't trust it 100% because it outputs these things. So what Jamie is saying right now and what April is saying, it helps it reduce that amount of chances of it hallucinating or going outside its
Yeah.
rails.
Yeah, because it's essentially kind of like a super pimped out autocorrect with
Hmm.
a lot of math trying to predict what the answer or what the most likely answer is. That's why it's so good at sounding right when it's wrong. And you're like, "Oh," and that's where the human comes into play, the human intelligence and the expertise and you proofreading and you asking or having it do. So if you're leveraging it for something that's like in your wheelhouse, definitely proofread, and you'll see exactly what we mean by that.
Yeah.
You don't already know.
And if you want to be
It's
creative,
trained not.
oh, sorry, go ahead, Jamie.
It's trained. It's trained not to say no, and it's trained to please you,
That's
and
another
that's part of
thing.
the reason why it helps to hallucinate.
Right.
Do you have
Eh,
to still say, please don't lie to me? A lot of people used to put in their prompts like, I'm going to give you some rules, and one of them was do not lie to me, because it would make up stuff to make you
But it
happy.
doesn't know that it's lying.
yeah, it,
That's where the problem rolls, and it doesn't. So what
it
I
doesn't
found that
understand
actually
that.
works
Yeah.
extremely better.
Hmm.
What I found works extremely well is to ask it to lose its ego,
Hmm.
Really?
because
Interesting.
it has an ego of it has to always give you the answer,
Hmm.
and it doesn't always know the answer,
Oh,
Interesting.
that's
and
an
that does
Interesting.
make a difference.
interesting
That's a good
psychological
approach.
element. I just say stick to the facts.
Hmm.
Don't make anything up.
Remove the ego.
Yep.
Delete.
Yeah.
Cross it
Ego
out.
death.
Yeah.
I actually built an N8N workflow that does it's a multi LLM system. So where there's something I need to fact check, it will actually go out and run through three separate LLMs and then bring that back for something to get a real answer out of. And 99% of the time you don't need it, but when there's times where you really want to fact check something, it's pretty cool that it does go through and do that.
And by the way, if
It's
There's
like
if
ego death
37 cents.
code.
yeah, if you want to be creative, you can let it hallucinate. That's the whole purpose of it too. It just thinks
Yeah.
outside the box. But
Mm.
if you're looking for fact checking, like Jamie says, um, this is not any sort of like 100% truth to it. But like Gemini has so far been giving me the most accurate data that I get. So I'm gonna continue to plug Gemini because
Where's
it's
your
just the
Google
best to go.
tattoo?
I gotta get it probably for my birthday this December.
Do you
Gonna get matching
think
tattoos.
that with what do you think with Atlas, we just won't use Google anymore? Because like the class I'm
I think
going to
that's the
next week
point.
is called AEO or something, and I was like, what the heck is that? Because I've been paying attention, but it's like instead of search engine optimization, it's AI driven, and so the way you do
The interest,
things and way you optimize your websites and all that is different because it's searching
Actually,
different.
is not that different. The difference is going to be is how many times can you say the same thing in multiple different ways, because then the way that someone speaks to somebody types the
Mm-hmm.
information or asks the information is different across the
Mm-hmm.
board. So like you
Yeah.
have to have like like to search something, the way that you search it is different than I search it. So like the information
Right.
that the AI is going to try to pull is going to be different across the board. So that websites, what I've been finding is that they just have the same question, just written like 50 times differently.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of redundancy in the information precisely because of the AI, but the search engine optimization particular about it is the same. It's the same style, the same activities. It's just like now we're covering um, a lot more keywords that before weren't like necessary because like they weren't having too much of a search volume.
Hmm. Interesting. I'll let you
And
know what my class is at.
When you're running Atlas in the top right hand corner, it says go to Google. There's a little tab
Oh,
up
That's
there
true. Well,
inside
it's
of
a, it's
Atlas.
it's a Chromium browser. It's essentially a Google
Right.
client. Funny enough,
Right.
interesting.
yeah. To
Not
leave
on
you off with
PC.
this, not on PC yet. To leave you off with this, Google stock went down when Atlas came out, and then when people realized that it was just it's essentially ChatGPT on top of Chrome, it was skyrocketed up. So if you bought
Should have let
Google
me
during
buy
those
the
times,
dip. Should have told me. I wasn't watching.
yeah, I saw that.
Your Gemini didn't tell you?
No, I
No, I
didn't
didn't.
tell me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't have a gem for that.
Another quick one that came out this week that's a really big deal is Claude now has skills,
Oh yeah.
which is very similar to the task available in OpenAI. But you can train skills in a whole segment. So, like April as an example, the whole tour you're doing, everything like that, you could train a whole segment in Claude under that skill. And then you could have another whole one set up for the land purchases, and like you can do these different things, and they could all just be skills in Gemini or sorry in Claude, and that's something that's been very useful now that that has come out.
That's exciting. So let's do this. How about we all, before next Thursday, we bring one fun thing that we get to share real quick, either in Atlas or Claude or whatever. It could all be in Atlas, it could all be in whatever. Your most favorite use case, and then we'll just quick share it. You guys want to do that?
Let's do it.
Sure.
Okay, let's go.
Amazing. Make sure to make it out to the next AI hotline. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you next week.